Most gardens perform well when conditions are perfect. Mild temperatures, steady rain, predictable seasons. But that's not the world most of us live in anymore. Weather swings harder than ever. Droughts hit unexpectedly, late frosts ruin spring plantings, and soil isn't always what we want it to be. Yet some vegetables don't care. Some plants push through extremes, keep producing, and adapt to conditions that wipe out ordinary crops. These are the perennial vegetables that have fed families quietly for generations, the ones strong enough to outlast storms, heat waves, pests, and poor soil. And after years of growing them, I can confidently say, if you want food security in an unpredictable world, these 4 belong in your garden. Well, horseradish isn't just a condiment, you know. It's actually one of the toughest, most vigorous perennial vegetables you'll ever grow. This plant, it laughs at drought, shrugs off frost, and honestly just bulldozes poor soil. Once it's established, it pushes out thick, spicy roots every single year, no matter what the weather is doing. In harsh conditions, its deep taproots go straight down to moisture and nutrients that most plants simply can't reach. And even if the leaves die back from extreme cold, those roots come back with force in spring. To grow horseradish, you'll want to plant root cuttings, which are called sets, about 4 to 6 inches deep in early spring. Be sure to choose a permanent location, as horseradish, well, it spreads quite aggressively. Space each plant at least 18 inches apart. And remember, it needs sun, but will tolerate a bit of partial shade. When it comes to caring for horseradish, honestly, there's almost nothing to do. Just water during very long droughts, but otherwise you can pretty much leave it alone. Every autumn, dig up part of the root for harvest and replant a small piece to keep the patch going year after year. The reason horseradish is so reliable is that it thrives in poor soil, where leafy vegetables would really struggle, and, well, it's nearly impossible to kill. Even if you forget about it for a season, it just keeps on growing. When seasons are unpredictable, onions are, well, often one of the first crops to fail. Not walking onions, though. This old perennial produces edible greens, full bulbs and little topsets that fall over and replant themselves, hence the name walking. They overwinter easily, bounce back from frost damage, and remain productive even in, neglected beds. These onions don't depend on precise timing or ideal conditions. They simply keep growing. So, to grow walking onions, you'll want to plant the top sets or bulbs either in the autumn or early spring. Set them about 1 inch deep and 6 to 8 inches apart. These onions really do prefer full sun, but they'll tolerate a bit of shade, and honestly, they'll grow in almost any soil type. Just avoid waterlogged clay if you can. Now, when it comes to caring for walking onions, the routine is quite simple, really. You can harvest the green onion tops whenever you need them. If you fancy, you can pull a few bulbs from the base for cooking, but do leave most of them to keep growing. When those top sets form in the summer, you've got a choice. Let them fall naturally, or go ahead and replant them in new spots. The reason walking onions are so reliable is, well, they spread, they adapt, and they survive even the harshest winters. They'll give you multiple edible parts all year long. And even if some extreme weather comes along, the underground bulbs stay safe and sound, ready to grow again. Turkish rocket is honestly one of the most overlooked perennial vegetables out there. It produces these tender, nutty-tasting leaves and, well, edible flower buds that are quite similar to broccoli rabe. What makes it truly exceptional is its resilience. Deep drought, extreme frost, and even nutrient-poor soil barely slow it down, you know. It forms a strong, hardy crown that returns early in spring, long before any annual crops even think about germinating. During those dry summers, its taproot keeps it alive without any need for irrigation. And when other greens bolt or just collapse, Turkish rocket keeps on producing, season after season. So, to grow Turkish rocket, you'll want to plant root crowns or seeds in a sunny spot with well-drained soil. Make sure to give each plant about 18 inches of space. Yeah, that's important. Water them during the first few weeks until the roots really take hold, and then just let the plant adapt to the climate on its own. For care, harvest the leaves regularly to encourage tender new growth. In spring, pick the unopened flower buds and, well, cook them just like you would with broccoli. Add compost once a year, but don't overfeed. This crop honestly thrives in lean soil. The reason Turkish rocket is so reliable is down to its root structure, which makes it almost invincible, really. Once it's mature, it survives harsh seasons better than most shrubs, let alone most vegetables. Rhubarb is famous for its longevity, sometimes surviving 20 years or more. What's less appreciated is its resilience. Frost, snow, heat waves, strong winds, rhubarb powers through them all. Its thick underground crown stores energy that helps it explode with growth the minute spring arrives. Even after brutal winters, rhubarb is almost always the first vegetable ready to harvest. To grow rhubarb, plant the crowns about 3 feet apart in fertile soil. Rhubarb really loves organic matter, so, you know, it's best to mix in some compost or aged manure when you plant. Make sure to bury each crown so the buds are just above the soil level. For caring, water your rhubarb during long dry spells, and, well, always remove those flower stalks to keep the plant's energy focused on the stems. Top dress with compost every fall too. Don't harvest in the first year though. By year 3 you'll be rewarded with huge, reliable yields. Rhubarb is reliable because it thrives through temperature swings, heavy rains, and even sudden cold spells. Honestly, it just doesn't care about unstable seasons. These crops don't depend on perfect weather or careful timing. Their secret is simple, really: deep roots, strong crowns, and built-in resilience. While annual vegetables rely on quick growth and short windows, perennials store energy underground, ready to restart even after catastrophic weather. That means, well, you get food even in bad growing years. Your garden becomes more self-sufficient. You spend less time replanting and repairing beds, and you build long-term stability instead of gambling each season. In uncertain climates, perennials aren't just convenient, they're essential. If you want a garden that provides no matter what the weather throws at it, these 4 perennials are the perfect place to start. Plant them once, give them a little care, and they'll feed you reliably for years. If you want more practical, no-nonsense advice on resilient gardening, make sure to subscribe, share, and join the community so we can keep growing strong, season after season.